going on, everybody? 2Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks because it's time for part 2 of the Volume 19 Roundtable Podcast. And we got some new guests on board. I don't know what happened to Sensei Kreese. He might be making some pizza right now or just decided to be an old man and take a nap. I have no clue. But we have some new guests on, and they will make themselves appear during the introduction. But as we go through the intro, we got to make sure that y'all know who is here. And with me, of course, the man himself. He says that he's never a part of the Penthouse, and after the end of Part 1's podcast, boy, has that never been more false. Mr. Penthouse himself, it is B-Rock Jr. Gaming. Talk to me, B-Rock. What's going on, brother?
Hey, I don't even have a full-time job because I represent not a full-time job. I'm also here to represent the people. So there's no way that I am in the Penthouse because as the people's champ, I have to be down in the muck and the mire of the people. And we're here to give our point of view to the great and powerful Oz known as 2Bob.
Hey, whoa. No great and powerful. Let's stay away from that now. Well, thank you, B-Rock, for showing on up. Also with me, I don't know if this is your official debut or your second official debut here, Clay, for a full podcast, but the one and only Mr. Butting in the middle of a podcast so he can get his points across, and then I've been wanting to get you back on here ever since, and super happy to have you on, even if it's for a part 2, but glad hopefully to have you here for the majority of it, is one Mr. Claydo. Clay, what's going on, brother?
Going on, everybody. I want to thank anybody who's catching this the day it comes out, August 14th. Proud of y'all for staying tuned. Part of the natural mutants, just ready to talk some MLC, I guess, and what's going on.
The natural
I'm glad I could be here for half a full episode.
Is that our new nickname, the Natural Mutants, Clay?
What I went with.
Oh, man. All right. Also returning back, looks like Sensei might be back. Turns out his wife did overhear the fact that he said he was spending $100 on the game. And so it took him a little bit longer to show back up during our break. But he is back nevertheless. And with a new black eye, it is the one and only Sensei Kreese. How is it going, Sensei? You feeling all right over there?
She's still in the house. Help. Sensei, blink twice if you need us to come get you.
Hell of an intro there, Sensei.
It certainly was better than that word salad that B-Rock threw out. He said about 400 words to say, I like to spend on this game.
All right. And of course, with me again, a TNM diehard, a TNM tryhard, a recent brand new owner of a new ministry business skill plate that has no business on anybody on her roster. It is Kitsy Shell. Shell, what's going on, girl?
Not much, just currently lounging on a Chase lounge in the Penthouse. threw a couple of jars of Palmer's cocoa butter in my Amazon cart for B-Rock.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you didn't listen into part 1, boy oh boy, is none of this going to make any sense to any of you. Also,
if you didn't catch part 1, stroll back about 6 weeks of content.
Yeah. Screw off, Clay. Also with us today, another brand new guest on the Roundtable Podcast. Super stoked to have him. Make sure to head on over to the official Twitch channel that he has. I'd love to support him. I will get his link and post it in the description of this video to make sure that y'all follow on through. But with us today, we have Mr. Slim Numbers. What's going on, Slim?
Hey, everybody. How are we doing? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What faction are you in, Slimbo?
Oh, I'm in Cream of the Crop. The best faction nobody has ever heard of.
There you go. Cream of the crop and cream of the crop of numbers, because nobody does it quite like the Macho Man Slimbo Numbers. And last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one, the only, the NPO, the OTC himself, Mr. Southside Envy. Envy, how's it going for this wonderful part 2 that we got going on here?
Southside Envy from the new ministry, and I did have my original Tail Clapper t-shirt on yesterday, but let me just say, on last podcast when I said Warriors come out and play, we got them all in here today. We got Clado out here, former Warrior of the Week. We got Slim Numbers, aka a Grande American Bro. We got all of the guys out here. Hashtag make Slim official. Let's get it going. I'm really happy right now. And just so y'all don't forget, this week's Warrior of the Week, the Murray Mailman, who's on that top lane gender movement. Let's get it going.
Yeah, part of what we'll be discussing here is about the official Discord. Make sure to head on over to there and leave some reactions to support the Slimbo push. That'd be great. That'd be awesome if you all could do that. Think he makes some solid content. Would be a fantastic addition to the crew that we have going on in the content creatorship. Anyway, moving on with our talks of the day. We have some more discussions to go over. And ain't nothing like starting a new part of the podcast than a new MLC, and that is the Muscles in the Bank MLC. So very, very first and foremost, we're going to just talk characters, and then we can get into all of the changes that the MLC has. But the new characters on the month, we got a new Raquel Rodriguez of the Judgment Day. We've got a King Kong Bundy, the walking condominium. We also have Michelle McCool, the All-American Diva, and Piper Niven got herself an upgrade, a revamp, as you might say, as well as the secret Hervis gear. So lots of new characters and a couple of revamped ones. So curious on everybody's thoughts on our characters that we have so far. Are you looking forward to using any of them, getting any of them? Or is this just another monthly where, it doesn't matter, it's another character and you're going to move on?
Personally, I prefer months that have like themes and like they tie together in some type of fashion. Maybe not all the characters, but like, the main ones, like the A tier and the free character. This month just kind of feels like a mishmash. Like, I don't see much of a coherency to it. I do love that Michelle McCool and King Kong Bundy are brand new characters. I'm excited to see those. But, so I definitely want to be able to try to grab those.
Yeah, I don't see any trend of consistency here with Raquel Rodriguez, King Kong Bundy, and Michelle McCool. But 3 new characters nevertheless. Two brand new. Obviously, Raquel, this is going to be more than her first character. Anybody's thoughts on these characters? Fighters, trainers, coaches? Are you excited that it's them? Talk to me. I want to hear thoughts on our characters that we got.
I just think it's always good to have brand new characters as opposed to, as the jokes are using, the 14th Cena or, it's always good to have brand new characters in the game.
So you're looking forward to Bundy and Michelle?
Yeah, also, fun fact, Bundy and his family were customers of mine at my first pizza shop. They had a car dealership down the road and used to order all the time.
Very cool. Okay. Clay, thoughts on our characters?
I am good with them. Michelle is going to be a gigantic addition for mine, especially doing this CSS. That era is not one that I have anything good in, so adding her is going to be a gigantic step if I get her. Raquel, I like her trainer, so that's nice. And then I don't know, the Walking Trojan's fine. Curious to see how he does. I think he seems like he'll be fine. Probably on my roster, still may be used. I've seen a few clips of y'all making content. I think it's good, but I like their trainers. I like their entourage.
All right, I can dig it. Envy, talk to me. Excitement? Not excitement? What's the dealio?
So when I was told that Michelle was Ruthless Aggression era, I was happy. But then when I rolled out in this feud and had to use Super Stacy, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm really excited about getting Michelle." So we're gonna have to make that happen sooner rather than later, because Michelle's got to go all the way up right away. Because we ain't doing this no more. I'm done. I mean, I was told I should use Molly. I didn't listen, and yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all.
I was told I should use Molly, and I didn't listen. Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, I mean, look, I like him. I think that I think Raquel's pretty much going to be my trainer. I don't see myself ever using Raquel as a fighter. Powerhouse is a better fighter, and Trickster Judgment Day Rhea is a better Trickster female of the Judgment Day. So I don't ever see myself using Raquel as anything but a trainer once this month is over and she's no longer required. Bundy's cool. He's interesting. I was saying this earlier throughout the week to a lot of folks. He's got a different dynamic, kind of interesting. He's not going to be your tippy-top best of the best striker, but I do like the mechanic of Juggernaut gems that are dealing bleed damage. It's interesting. It's a new way to play, and I kind of like the fun gimmick and the fun mechanic that he kind of brings to the game. Not really thrilled with his trainer for green MP and black gem damage. It's good for someone like Rocker Sean, but I don't think many people are using Rocker Sean nowadays. And then Michelle McCool, she's fantastic. She's absolutely going to carry the Ruthless Aggression era. Much better than Super Stacy, much better than Molly Holly, and there's an argument for her to be made to be a top 3 showboat female. So very good, period, across the board. So, and her trainer's fantastic also. Another version of King Woods, but as a trainer, even stronger than King Woods, and also comes with MP. So really thrilled to see those entourages getting added with Raquel and Michelle. So happy about that. B-Rock, talk to me. Characters.
Definitely excited about Bundy and Michelle McCool. Even though last time she was on WWE, she just had that weird plasticky face. It was strange. It's just a thing. I am excited that we somewhat have an outline for the month, like very similar to what we had last month. So hopefully, the Bundy aspect is going to be correct. So we know that we'll end up having to use him towards the end of the month. So very happy about that. I haven't been here as long as Envy and Shell and some of the others, but I do want to, welcome my brother, brother Slim Numbers to us. I want to welcome him, and hopefully he comes, week after week and joins the crew.
I'd love to have him here.
Dude, you're going to get me sued.
And speaking of Slimbo, so your thoughts on our new characters? We got Raquel and Bundy and Michelle McCool. Happy to hear your thoughts on these guys.
So it's kind of interesting, right? We got 2 new characters. We have 2 new characters to the game completely. We have what should be a very obtainable card for Striker Legends on the men's side of thing. And I'm looking at my roster right now. I don't have really anything in Striker's Legends anyway that I'm very comfortable with. Obviously, Michelle McCool is going to be a Ruthless Aggression showboat. This should be like pants on fire excitement that we're getting some stuff that is going to be obtainable, or supposedly obtainable, that is going to shore up holes in, I think, a lot of people's rosters. However, I don't feel any hype. We got King Kong Bundy, who is one of the cards that I've seen tossed around for years as somebody who should enter the game, but there's not I don't feel a ton of hype about it. So I'm kind of wondering if, maybe that's why we don't get a lot of new characters. Maybe the theme months make a lot more sense because you get a lot more hype and a lot more energy from the community about it. Maybe having, an overpowered Cena show up 4 times in a month is really what's needed to actually drive engagement and community hype. Right now we're in the middle of a month that's just like, oh, cool. There's neat stuff happening, but it feels very hesitant. The hype feels very subdued. But in all reality, it should be like through the roof. So I don't quite get it. I think it's a kind of a reflection of the community says they want something, but when they get it, do they actually really want it?
Right. It's feeling interesting. And you know what? Actually, talking more about that hype too. And we can all talk about our 4th character, actually, the revamped Piper Niven. There was a lot of hype behind, hey, we get another revamped character, right? That's become a trend moving forward with a lot of their monthlies, is that we revamp an older character, and they're good, right? Like Phenom Taker is fantastic now post revamp, like really, really good. Even Goldberg with the new skill plates, really, really good. A lot of the revamped characters that they have had recently are absolutely fantastic. And then Piper, she got her revamp, which wasn't really a massive revamp, but they gave her a +4 MP gear. And maybe I'm missing the boat on this one, because I've heard a lot of people that are excited and others that are not excited. But man, I do not care about this Piper Niven post revamp whatsoever. The showdown that she's in, great. She's got some fantastic bonuses for the showdown, and she's going to make quick work of it for this month. But the second this month is over, it's like I have zero desire to even remotely use Piper Niven. I don't care if I get her gear or not from this month. It has zero impact on me whatsoever moving forward. So I kind of feel, I don't know, I'm almost a little annoyed. I wish they came out with a new Piper that was the secret Hervis Piper instead of just the gear. And maybe that's just a me thing, but really interested to hear everybody's take on the Piper changes too this month. All the new characters are pretty, thought-provoking in terms of conversation. So I think Piper fits that bill too.
Yeah, Piper went from never used to, hey, you get to use her for a month. So I think that's all it is. I guess who are my powerhouse moves? So I guess, yeah, Zombie Chelsea's better than her, so I guess there's really no need, because Zombie Chelsea was free, and Zombie Chelsea overshadows her. So maybe Piper was just left to be the hot mess that Chelsea's theme song says.
For me, I like all of the revamps, because this is something like when we had the old style MLCs where they would introduce one card a week. One of the things a lot of us always asked for was, instead of debuting a new card one week, why not do a revamp? So, I got it. I like it. Some of them I use, some of them I don't. But again, it's more value on top of what we already have. Will I use her? Possibly in the future. But for right now, it serves a purpose, and I like it. So I won't complain too much about it.
That's fair too. B-Rock, I've seen you've hopped off mute. Thoughts on our Piper revamp?
So we're talking about revamps. We got to talk about one person. We'll talk about one person only. And this portion of the podcast is sponsored by Steve Weisers, because the only revamp that matters is Striker Austin. As we look back on this, we've had some that have been very good, and then we've had some that have not been so good. Piper's kind of mid. I can see people who did not get Zombie Chelsea for free she could be some people's best powerhouse. If you think about it, if you look at the top 3 or 4 powerhouses, 2 of them are zombies.
Yeah.
That's Zombie Live, Zombie Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then if you have, just say you lucked out and got Raquel, then you need the Devil's Drip and the Yeet to make her really powerful. So Piper, for average person, may be that person's best powerhouse. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So I dig the revamp, kind of mid. So upper echelon, players like yourself, she's never going to be used again. Lower level people, that may be their best overall powerhouse.
That's kind of sad if that's the state of female powerhouse that we're living in, though.
But if you look at it, of the ones that I just listed, is there anybody else better?
No, and I'm not arguing with you on that. That's
but I'm
just
just saying,
my
those are
point.
the top 3.
No, I think that's your go-to, and that's understandable and that's fair. It's just that's kind of sad, the state of affairs that female powerhouse is in. If that's the case, which it is. Clay, your thoughts? I see you've unmuted. No thoughts from Clay. Okay.
I'm an idiot and I muted on the mic side. That's my bad. So I unmuted there, didn't unmute my headset. Anyways, so I agree with what B-Rock's saying. If you've got some of the bigger players, she'll never be used. You'll use her this month. She'll disappear into the woodworks unless they change like her entourage during the month, which maybe we'll see. But I can tell you for the longest time, she was my best powerhouse. Up till I got LC, whenever that was. But she helped me in basically every single female tour, especially early on, like within the first 6 months of me playing this game, because of her sun loop. The problem is the revamp doesn't adjust that, so it didn't make her, in my opinion, better for the newer players. You're going to use that same moveset you used before, the stun loop, so that didn't really change. But in the grand scheme of Piper, yeah, she's probably the best powerhouse for anybody that's getting her right now for the first time. If this is the first time they've touched her and they're unlocking her because of this month, it's probably their best powerhouse. So I guess that's a good thing. But it also goes to what you were saying about the general aiming or general power of that class itself.
It's pretty weak if that's the case, and I'm not going to argue that that's the case. Obviously, I just I think that's a not great situation that everybody's in. Shell, your thoughts on our Piper Niven revamp?
Obviously, I am a different type of player than some others, and I have those, first world problems. But Piper is definitely not my best powerhouse.
Yep.
She's not even in my top 5. Well, top 4. But the revamp for me was okay. It got me through Showdown. Personally, the best thing about Piper is her plate. It's about her. I did want to comment about what you had mentioned about gears. Personally, I would actually prefer the gear rather than having a new Piper.
Really?
If a gear could give a character, can showcase the character's current gimmick, maybe current, add a little bit of something to the character, I would prefer that over a brand new slot on my roster, which could be reserved for someone that's not even in the game yet.
Okay.
I don't agree with Shell, to be honest. I would rather put the resources into building a new character that's not in the game than to build the 5th Seth new gen Acro or whatever the hell he was. So when it comes to that aspect, yeah, throw a gear on somebody. If people want to believe with the Gable situation, I'd be perfectly fine with a gear thrown on Gable and rework his moves than an entirely new character.
Wait, why would Gable need a gear?
Yeah.
I'm talking about his Alpha Academy gear. The Alpha
Oh.
Academy
Okay.
gear that he wears to the ring.
Got
Okay. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's what I'm talking about.
I got you.
And Slimbo, I'd love to hear your thoughts on our Piper Niven revamp here. We were just talking about how good the plate was and those numbers. So, give me some numbers on your thoughts on the Piper Niven revamp.
Honestly, my thoughts on the Piper Niven revamp are kind of the same as my thoughts on almost every other revamp. Who are the best two revamps we've had, right? Obviously, Austin 316, because it skyrocketed him, if you have all the toys, to the top of the tier list. The second one, and I know it wasn't really a month-long revamp, was Powerhouse Hogan. Skyrocketed him to the top of the men's Powerhouse tier rankings, right? He's one of the best if you have all of the toys.
Yep.
What other, and this is just my faulty memory, but I can't think of another revamp that's quite like that. Right, everything else goes from borderline unusable to meh tier to, oh, okay, if I have to use this, I'm not too awful mad about it. So I think a lot of the revamps are really just designed to help out people who need somebody at the top that don't have the upper tiers anyway. And Piper fits that role just as well as like Phenom Taker did, right? If you needed a good Phenom, if you needed a good Taker and you don't have Showboat Taker, then yeah, okay, now you've got a halfway decent one. Not a lot of people have very good Powerhouse ladies on their roster. That was a particular struggle of my own.
Celebrating 8 years.
2 months ago when I got Abby. Now I'm fine, but up until then, I really I disliked anything that involved the ladies Powerhouse class because I didn't have anything good there. So I think that's what the revamps need, like that's the way that I look at the revamps. Is like, okay, cool. Scopely's thrown a bone to particular areas that are probably weak for a lot of people. Just because it doesn't happen to be weak for me doesn't mean that it devalues it. It just means that I pay attention to it less, unfortunately. So cool, Piper got a rework. That's neat. I will continue to not use her except for her showdown, just like I have continued to not use Phenom Taker except for his showdown, just like I have continued to not use Eddie Guerrero outside of his showdown. It just kind of is what it is, unfortunately.
Sure.
It's cool, don't get me wrong, keep doing it. A lot of people are getting a lot of value out of it. I just unfortunately am not one of those people.
Yeah, and that's fair. I know that there's a lot of characters they revamp where, yeah, if you put the bells and whistles on them, they can be great, right? Like, Goldberg can be great if you put the Yeet and the Devil's Drip. Taker can be great if you put a Trapiversary and a Tama Plate, right? It comes into the play of, like, you can make these characters fantastic if you're willing to commit some really whaley skill plates and items for them. Same thing with Austin. Austin, instead of skill plates, you need whaley moments. But he becomes fantastic when you get those whaley moments, right? And so, like, I feel like, I guess that's where, I don't know, I feel like this one's kind of a miss in terms of that, right? Where this one, even if you wanted to, you kind of can't make it a fantastic character of Piper. She's just going to be okay. The one exception is, like, I think she fights an aggressive or something. Whatever the hardcore move that she has on her yellow moveset now, yes, with a Piper plate, with a crossbreak anniversary, and with the gear, yeah, you can hit just about 200 mil, but you have to be fighting like a specific, I don't remember if it's a class or a style, but it's such a small subsect compared to what the other characters can do against people in general that don't have that requirement. So, I don't know. It seems like it's okay. I'm with you, right? Like, it's a revamp character. I'm probably never going to use them unless it's 316 Austin. Then sure, right? I've kind of sold out for 316 Austin numerous times. I've made him so strong that I took off things like the yellow rumble plate because it took longer to win instead of just not using it at all. So I don't know. I'm okay with the revamp. I don't feel like it's that great, I think is what it comes down to. And that's okay, right? Like, keep doing them because, to everybody's point in here, someone's getting something stronger, and I'm all for helping out people with improving their roster.
It's helping. Go ahead, Sam.
In my opinion, what it's doing is it's helping the average roster not get completely dominated by power creep. By every month, somebody they probably already have or can get relatively easy all of a sudden gets a little bit stronger, so that the top end of the rosters of the game aren't starting to they're always going to run away with it a little bit in terms of power creep, but it's not like full on sprint me versus Usain Bolt type stuff.
Right.
And I think I think that's great too. I think that's in kind of a big meta way of looking at it. It's like, all right, cool. They're still trying to keep the field somewhat balanced while still giving the leaders of the pack a little bit of extra oomph and distance.
Yeah, a little leeway there. Yeah.
I do want to give them credit. I think they started with, it might have been Eddie or it might have been Taker. I don't remember who came first. But buffing the rework characters for their showdown is a change that I think was needed, that I don't know if was discussed earlier. It has made the showdown, even for the quote-unquote bad characters, way more stomachable, because I'm still remembering when we had to do the Rosie showdown, and I about wanted to throw my phone through anything I could find. So I am at least want to commend them on that, where they've made these new characters, even if you don't have them at 6-star gold, still able to hit way above their weight class because of the buffs they're giving them. So the being forced to use these characters at least doesn't feel like a chore while we're using them.
Yeah, that was.
I want to give them at least some credit.
That was a big complaint of mine heading into the month. Was like, you guys are going to make these people use Piper, and you're trying to get us to promote the gear, which totally fine, right? I'll showcase the gear, it's fine, but people aren't going to get the gear until the very end of the month. So where do you expect people to do all this damage with Piper right now in 4 weeks of Showdown before they get the gear? It's not going to be a fun or enjoyable experience. But the bonuses they gave out in the Showdown, yeah, they made it doable. Made it to a point where, yeah, it's easy, and hell, you might even want to use her to grind with, right? So definitely commend them for that one, for sure. Anybody else on our characters of the month before we start talking about the new changes in the grand scheme of the month? Alrighty, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So, new month, the muscles in the bank, lots and lots and lots to talk about. A lot of changes, like a lot of changes. We'll start out with a positive change. So we picked up the Judgment Day, the new Judgment Day, that is, gets their own tag link. So the new Judgment Day consists of Judgment Day Dominic Mysterio, Judgment Day Finn Balor of the old Judgment Day. And now it also consists of JD McDonough. It consists of Technician, Revenge Tour Live. And it also has the new Raquel Rodriguez. All of them have +4 MP as a tag link. So that's it's pretty cool that we got another MP link, very similar to the Hall of Fame tag link. So happy to see that. Also part of the month, we got the Drew Money in the Bank 2024 moment. That is something else that has been added to the game after this month. And we got some other things that we need to talk about, such as the upgrade on the Jumpstart pack. So the $30 pack starter now gives you a 4-star bronze, and the $100 starter pack gives you a 5-star bronze instead. And then there's a couple other things here. So the tours refresh weekly. Apparently they drop every Monday and Wednesday. They will refresh weeks 2, 3, and 4. On top of that, you are able to apparently earn your King Kong Bundy A tier and Michelle McCool S tier for free if you play the entire month, and if you hit certain milestones and have certain CSS and all of those wonderful things. And then on top of that, probably the elephant in the room right now, especially after we just finished week 1, there is no more Kick-Off Tour. It is now the Blitz Off Tour event. So you get a certain amount of Blitz tickets for free every single day. If you buy a starter pack, you get additional Blitz tickets to get some more points. So lots and lots and lots to talk about this monthly. Whichever point anyone wants to kick it off with is totally fine by me, and we can all kind of jump on board onto that point, and we'll go one at a time to whatever the other points are. But whoever wants to get it started with their first, surface level thoughts on our MLC, by all means, take it away.
Did you want to talk about positives first?
Anything. It don't matter to me. Positive, negative,
Okay.
indifferent.
If it's positives first, somebody else go.
No kickoff tour.
Say again, Envy.
No more kickoff tour. I'm thrilled about that. I'm not thrilled about it because now it's kind of semi tied to spin to max, so don't like that. But I do not like the idea of having to jump on a reset on like a Tuesday and try to knock out matches, 100 matches a day, and then the last day is just a grind of not as many matches you can to do whatever you need to do. Never really enjoyed that, but at least I was free falling in a grind. But the midweek grind is never any fun. Rather that be a weekend. So I'm happy about that aspect being gone from the kickoff. But the fact that everybody can't get as many tickets as they want to do the Blitz isn't really that enticing, especially for the rewards that you get.
Yeah, the kickoff event, boy oh boy is it something. So let's stick with that one. Everyone's thoughts on the kickoff event.
I think it's better than the tour, but it's still. I've mentioned this before, but I think anything that breeds animosity within a faction just isn't a good thing for the game. And while this is better, there's still chances for animosity in factions. People not doing their blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean that's a fact. There's definitely people that are going to be angry that people don't do blitzes, and then for those that look like they don't do blitzes, but it turns out they tried to do a blitz and lost, they don't want to tell anybody because now it makes them look like they're bad at playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's that the blitzes are definitely better than the tours, and they're definitely better than the blitzes from a couple years ago where you had to do like 50 of them. Remember that? That was even worse. It's better, but I just still think they can do a much better job with something like this.
You want to go B-Rock or you want me to take it?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to speak from a purely, essentially low spend / free to play player. I absolutely hate this change for a gigantic reason, because it's not even that like I can't get the 3-star tokens and the 5-star tickets like for more blitzes. That's fine, whatever. This was one of the events that gave the quote unquote free to play player or low cost player during for their faction the ability to really kind of put a foot forward and help the faction. Feud is another one like that, where they could grind to, especially on the last day, and just kind of say like, hey, I'm trying to help this faction as much as I can. Now that is completely out the window. It's essentially you're either going to spend or you're not going to spend, and it just kind of hampers the non-spending players again, and anyone that doesn't spend just kind of has to sit back and go, oh, now I'm at the bottom of the faction again, or another event. Whereas before they were able to grind out, even in TNM, where the joke used to be like within an hour, everything was maxed every day because the 2,000 got knocked out in like 30 minutes. The last day, you were able to grind if you wanted to and just rack up the points and help out the faction as much as you can. But once you get that free ticket and you're done with it, unless you spend money, then it's where you are. And kind of like Sensei said, like it becomes, I wouldn't necessarily say animosity, but as the faction gets closer to the next tier of the milestone, it becomes like, hey, who wants to spend? Like who wants to help push us over? Like we're not gonna like. And I'm not saying this is something TNM did, but just in general, you feel as someone that's not spending, like, hey, maybe I should drop $20 because like I feel kind of like an ass because the people that did spend are now being held back because I didn't spend, and I'm just never a fan. I know they do multiple things like that, but I didn't like it when I saw it because it just became another hurdle for the low spend free players. That's like, well, you get to watch from the sidelines, have fun.
Yeah, it was a not great feel, right? And kind of like you said, right? The fact, at least our faction, I'm never going to comment on other factions. Our faction isn't going to make you spend. That's not a thing. And if anyone saw the leaderboards and saw just how close we had gotten without maxing it, that kind of proves itself, right, to be true. There's no point in forcing anybody to feel an unnecessary or uncomfortable urge to have to spend money on a game. That's really silly, and it's really scuzzy to make somebody want or have to feel like they have to spend. It's just not ideal. I didn't like it. I don't like the idea that that's the only way you can score now. Even if it was something like, hey, turn in your old Blitz tickets, right? Like, hey, you can still buy Blitz tickets on the MLC prize wall, and if you want to turn in 5,000 Blitz tickets for one more run for the kickoff tour, something like that, sure. But the idea that it's like, you know what, you get your 3 for free, you play your tour, and you're done. Otherwise, spend some money, pay up. And like that's where it wasn't a good feel about the new event, so to speak. Am I going to say that I loved Kickoff Tour? Like, no, I didn't love Kickoff Tour. I didn't like the idea that I had to sit there and grind out hours on hours on hours on end on Thursday. That wasn't a fun experience. The flip side is it a fun experience for anyone in a faction to feel the pressure of spending because everybody else did? No, that's a horrible sensation for anyone as a human being to have to feel that they have to spend on a game that they're just trying to play to have fun. That's not an enjoyable experience. And even as somebody who did spend, it's not an enjoyable experience to watch other people go through that feeling. Especially when you know that you're not forcing them to do anything, and even still they're having that internal struggle of like, man, I really should have spent, shouldn't I? Like, no, you should play the game the way that you want to play the game. And that's where it's frustrating.
I can tell you straight-faced, because we finished, what, like 12,000 away from the max?
Yeah.
The 30 additional 3,250?
Yeah.
If I had saw probably 5 people in our faction, like, you know what, I'm going to do it, I'll buy it, I would have caved and got it, because I'm like, you know what, people could use this Viscera plate, and I know they're not there yet, like, I'd rather help out the people that could use it, like, yeah, I'm not going to have enough of these tokens to get it, but hey, who cares, like, it'll benefit and help other people in my faction, like, let's do it. And there wasn't a single person in our entire faction that's like, hey, you guys, come on, like, let's get here. That was never even said once. It was just like, hey, if you got tickets, do them.
Right.
What I would have loved for them to do, or maybe do forward, is if you want to do that, that's fine. Maybe make it worth, like, I don't know, 100,000, and then still have the kickoff tour if someone wants to grind the kickoff tour, and make it for less. Do like they did when we talked about with Cena, when the showdown got glitched, or not the showdown, whatever, the boss battle got glitched, and it was just unlimited. Do something like that where, like, you can use tickets, and if you spend, you'll get a level up, and maybe you won't need to do the kickoff tour because you've got such an advantage because you've had the 5 tickets, but it allows the people that don't want to spend to do that grind if they want to and get up there.
Right.
So it allows both. So if you want to spend and not do the kickoff, cool, you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can grind it. It's just going to take a long time.
Yeah, I just don't like the blockade of people feeling blocked out. Again, I think that I definitely wasn't a fan of the kickoff tour. I'm fine if this is the route that they want to go, but they need to make this route more attainable for the masses of the players and not just the people that are willing to spend at the beginning of the month. It's not... Forget that it's not fair. It's not enjoyable. It's just not enjoyable for anybody. Slimbo, talk to me. I saw you unmuted.
Hey.
Kickoff tour thoughts. Or kickoff event thoughts, I should say.
Not a fan. So I've decided once it was announced that this is going to be a very friendly, free-to-play month, I decided I was going to test it. So the only thing that I'm going to actually use any of my investments in my money on in this game is stuff to make content. So like plate swapper currency, stuff like that. I will not be getting any pulls. I will not be doing any of that because I want to test. I want to test it. Can I really get Michelle McCool by the end of the last week without spending anything? And I'm a seeing is believing kind of guy. So when the very first faction contest shows up and I look at it and I go, oh, I can help us get to the gold chest. I can't help go any further because I'm testing out for the entire month. This doesn't feel good at all. This feels terrible. So they're hyping up a month that is the most free-to-play friendly month that the game has had maybe ever. And their first event is a spend event. I mean, woo! Let's be real. That ain't exactly the best look in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then going back, it does create animosity within the faction. We lost a faction member because we didn't max the kickoff event. And really, how many of us didn't max the kickoff event? A whole lot, right? I think only one did, actually. Anyway.
Only one faction did. We were the second place faction, and we were 18,000 points away.
Yeah, so we lost a faction member. He started going faction shopping, and he was like, hey, I'm in this faction. They didn't max the kickoff event. I think I would like to find one that did. And I was like, excuse me? I went and looked at that person's scores. Guess what their score was? The same as mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, So he's still looking for a faction as far as I know. But, I mean, come on, that's trash. That's trash. It's not a good look all the way across the board. If you're putting your player base against each other in that kind of fashion, it's it just As far as the actual change to the competition, it's fine, whatever. We're doing blitzes now instead of grinding kickoff tours and matches and stuff like that. It's 6 one way, half a dozen to me. Would I have liked to do some more blitzes to feel like I was grinding towards a goal? Yeah, but that's a personal thing. As far as the structure of the competition, it didn't really bother me too awful much. It was just the spin to win aspect of it really grinded my gears.
Yeah.
I don't mean to jump in again. Sorry, B-Rock. Sorry, Southside. One thing they got to fix if this is going to be the route is you can't have the glitch, like the move glitch, where you can't use your moves, and then you lose the blitz, which then makes it seem like you're not helping the faction even worse because of how limited the tickets are. If we're going to go this route, stuff like that has to be fixed. Now, I'm sorry for going on a high horse, but we had somebody that got screwed by that because they couldn't win the blitz because the game did that glitch where you can only swipe gems and no longer do moves. It's like, well, here goes one of your tickets that we are limited to. It's like, no. Sorry for jumping in again, but I just remembered that when Slim was talking.
Yeah, you're good. B-Rock, I think you're the only person I haven't heard of for this kickoff event. If anybody else wants to talk kickoff event, by all means. Otherwise, I'm going to let the floor go to B-Rock on this one because I'm sure he's got some stuff to say.
So, all right, we're going to take this in 2 parts. The faction part sucked. The individual part was great. The reason why I say that, it's like baseball. Individually, you can have great numbers because you can minimize and you can manipulate your blitzes for both of them. Because remember, there's 2 blitzes going at the same time. So you can put your fodder in there, make the blitz easy, so forth and so on across the board. So blitz is always player friendly. Okay, it's always going to be player friendly because you can manipulate your opponent. Fine. When we tie it into the faction event, we, and not a full-time job, we turned around and we lowered our minimums. Because we were like, yeah, we're making people spend, and we don't want to do that. Yep. So we actually had to make some adjustments for it. Now, this is the first go-around. And we all know I have no faith in Scopely to fix it whatsoever. None. Because, as I said before, we do something great, and then we do something just asinine. And Scopely, when they whoever decides this, and sometimes I swear to God, they blindfold themselves, they put a bulletin board up there, they take some darts and they just kind of throw it and say, okay, let's try this. And it doesn't make any sense. I'm also going to tie this whole thing, because you brought it up earlier. Look at the characters this month. So, again, Scopely be Scopelying, and we have no direction. I know that there's a chief content officer, whatever his title is, and not personal. You got to take some of this feedback that people are giving, especially during this podcast. I personally don't think that they read the forum. I know that we're all supposed to say that they read the forum. I just don't think they do, because we are regurgitating the same thing. It's like, yo, this don't make sense. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? We keep saying, why are you doing this? And nobody says anything. Nobody says, well, this is what this is supposed to be. Is this going to be free to play? Is this going to help individuals in the mid to lower end of our player base? Well, if your faction isn't maxing and you're not getting the rewards from the higher up that you go, does that help you? I'm trying to understand. Make it make sense. That's all. See, I ain't go way over. I'm just saying. That's it. Just make it make sense.
Just saying that it don't make no sense and that you hate it and that you knew it was going to happen.
No, see, here's the thing. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Because, like I said, you got, it's easier to do a blitz than it is sometimes to do tours.
Yes.
So, based upon that, I'm not saying that I hate it. Like I said, for the individual, it's great. It's 3 clicks and you're done. In most cases, with a blitz, if you set yourself up, boom, 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 and you could just run through them, that's easy. But now that because you're partly responsible for your faction, and you have people in here who already said it, yo, I felt I didn't want to spend and I didn't want to do this, but now I felt guilty. Well, you shouldn't feel guilty because the math doesn't math.
Right. But you do, because that's how the game makes you feel.
But you do. Now you're letting your people down. And a lot of us only play this game because of the people. For the people, right. Me, being the people's champ. That's what I told you. I'm here to speak for the people. Scopely. Make it make sense. By the way, this portion of the podcast, sponsored by Preparation H. Because Scopely, that's an ass move.
Oh my god. Well, alright. Any other comments from anybody on our Blitz Off kickoff event? Before we talk about something that it's kind of related to the kickoff event. Let's let's just hop into the next point that we got here. So, the upgrade on the jumpstart packs, on your starter packs, it's a double-edged sword. I think the idea that it feeds into the kickoff pack, the blitz off pack, whatever you want to call it, that these starter packs had some pretty solid value in terms of helping out in that event, but I don't really know if it's really all that helpful outside of that. So I know that they have upgraded the rarities. So the rarity for Raquel now is 4-star bronze on the $30 pack and 5-star bronze on the $100 pack. They obviously have updated the tokens to move her up throughout the month to a tremendous amount of tokens required. So they're providing a bunch more nowadays. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious what everybody's thoughts are on the upgrades to the starter packs. That, I mean, inevitably they kind of feed into this specific event.
Y'all need to go first.
But I
Here,
think-
this one I'm. Go ahead, Abby.
Here you got it.
No, mine's gonna be like a 25-minute rant. That's what I'm saying. Go on this one. Trust me.
Okay, well, the upgrade to the pack, it makes it seem easier to get to the 5-star to do the tour now, because you're right there. But still don't know how easy it's going to be to get to 6-star, which is usually what's the final CSS in the month for the faction boss or whatever. So if I can't get to 6-star this way, it really seems kind of pointless. But
even with the discount on the prize wall.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And even discount on prize wall, so now that they made the first week prize wall, at least this month, where you can get other stuff from another prize wall, if you use up all your prize wall tokens, getting the really good brown eye skill plate, then you can't really buy the tokens to take the person up. So,
Hey, Amby, I just kind of want to poke in there and point out, I had this conversation with Bob earlier in the week, I believe, that because I had brought up the same thing about being able to take the character up to 6-star, but as for Kel, but if they're doing the A-tier bosses, then it's going to be the male. So Raquel wouldn't even be a CSS if they stick to doing boss battle as the A-tier character.
No, but I think what Envy's talking about is the tour CSS, because there's the challenge tour that you have to have the character at 6-star at the end of the month for.
yeah, that too.
Gotcha.
All right, so I'm gonna jump in here before the big rant comes, and I'm gonna say that occasionally, I get a plane ticket from True Bobby, flies me down. I get to join him in the penthouse a little bit. You know, we look out over the ocean. He shows me, you know, downtown Miami and all that other stuff. So this is a penthouse moment. I don't do mega pulls anymore. I haven't done it in probably a year or so, but I do. How long's the half off been on? Oh, it's almost a year, right?
But half off.
The half off for the prize wall?
Has it been close to it? It was after Gold Vibes in May. It's after a 6-star Gold release. I don't remember the exact date, though.
So for however long we've gotten a half wall prize wall, that's what I spend on. That's where I get the most value for my money. So right now I'm already at 5-star silver for Raquel.
All right.
And this is week 1. So, you know, I think the way it's set up is you should be able to get her to at least 6 silver. I'm guessing, just by the amount of coins that are going to be available. I mean, tokens, I should say. So this is where, you know, I spend my money, and I think that that's one of the best things that Scopely has done, which is the half off prize wall, $100. You get an elevated initial superstar. I think that's fantastic. I think that the fact that they made it available now that you can get somebody a little bit better for $29.99, that's smart. So those things right there are positives. You don't have to spend. Plus now you got the contest superstar the first day again. So all of this stuff is positive when it comes to this. If you want to spend, you spend. If you don't, you don't. That's completely up to you. That's completely up to your budget. I don't advocate people to spend. In my faction, I try to teach people how to spend who want to spend.
Right.
So if you are a gambler and you want to do like 5 megas, Lord help you. Because I'm not Shell. I will get 5 Dominator, 5 6-star gold Dominator Bobby Ashleys. I just don't get enough. But here's where it is all of those things are going to be major positives if it's done this way consistently. Let's not change it up next month, please. My trust is, oh, this was too good. Too many people got something. Let's make a change next month. And then it's going to be scopely.
All right. I mean, fair enough. Shell, any comments on our starter pack change-ups before Clay takes it?
No, actually, I kind of agree with what B-Rock said there. I like it. I like that they, shifted it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. So.
All right, straight into the point. I'll leave my own quick comments as quick as I can make them. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with the change. I like the idea that you can get the 2-star bronze for free again on day 1. I was never a fan of the idea that you have to log in for the first 4 days to get 20 shards a day to get the character that you were going to get anyway for free. It made no sense. It was a very poor way of trying to stop people from using the freebie character on the kickoff tour. It just made no sense, to me at least, for that matter. That, I'm cool with the changes in that term. I think the half-off prize walls are getting better as they go on because they're adding more stuff to it. Instead of just making it half-off, there's now exclusive items on it. I don't like that they make items only exclusively on the half-off wall, but I think that it is getting better objectively and trying to provide people more reason to spend that much money at the start of a month, which is still a lot of money for what it's worth. I don't like the idea that you had to get it in order to help your faction out for the Blitz Off event. That was really upsetting and disturbing and ugly. Like we all talked about the way that it fed into it. I think that flat out it really sucks. Like it really sucks that they make you feel that you have to do that. It's just stinky. But yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. The monthly character at 5-star is going to definitely get a lot more done than the monthly character at 2-star or 3-star or 4-star. There's a buddy of mine who's in the faction who didn't get a starter pack. And he was using his 2-star gold, I think, Raquel, to try and beat up I forget if it was a 5-star silver, I think is what it was, or a 6-star silver, Technician Live on the weekend. And it was like, how do you even do this? And so, like, yeah, it took a little bit of finagling and a couple of props because a 2-star can't use a strap or medals or skill plates or coaches and only has 1 trainer slot. So it's really difficult to try and get through that stuff. But yeah, we figured a way through and we found a way to do it. It's doable. I don't have a 2-star of my own to showcase how to do that, but definitely doable. So it's just tough. It's just tough to try and like rationalize someone can have a 2-star version of the character on weekend 1 or a 6-star version if they got lucky and pulled her out of the loot on weekend 1. It's not really fair to the 2-star crew to have to go through suffering that early on in the month that it's like, hey, I'm doing something that feels essentially impossible. And not to like toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, but it's like, unless I have the help of someone that's in the top factions in the game, I won't understand how to do this or be able to do this. Like, that's not a fair experience. Going back to the whole fair thing, right? It's not fair for someone to have to feel the need to spend, just like B-Rock said. His faction members shouldn't feel the need to have to spend, and nobody in general should. And the same exact mentality for nobody should feel the need to have to find someone who's in, a top faction to be like, how the hell do I do this with this 2-star character? Especially when you know that those people in the top end don't have a 2-star character. 99+% of the players are just going to be like, you don't, or figure it out on your own, right? Like, it's a different beast entirely. It is not conducive for an enjoyable environment for people to play a game. That is what it comes down to. People play games to have fun, and this experience is not fun. Also, just an FYI for the listeners at home, Slim has taken a break. He has to go take care of something. Something came up. So don't think that we are skipping over him. We'll be happy and glad and love to have him back on in the future for another podcast. But right now, I'm going to pass it on over to one Mr. Clayto. So take it away, Clay.
Okay, so let me first say, if you buy one of the Jumpstart packs, the change, I think, is great. I think it is a good change for those that are willing to spend. Now, does it fall into the same category of the spenders are getting the advantage we talked about before, and it makes the faction problem, that whole thing? Maybe. My biggest problem I'm having here is, one, now that they've given the character out for free, which is great, don't get me wrong, they have completely removed the giving of shards for that character. And I know a lot of low-spending people would use those shards, especially if they were able to get them, whenever they get them to 5-star gold, they would use those shards to help them get into the 6-star realm with that character. Or for other reasons, even if they didn't have TP to use or whatever. Completely getting rid of that, to me, doesn't make any sense at all. I guess it's because they gave you the character for free, so why do you need the shards? I guess that's the pushback point. But I think so many people used those shards for many other purposes than simply just to unlock that character in the future. I know for me, who was the acro that we had? Oh no, with Disciple. His shards helped me dramatically to level up somebody else that I could not take up because I didn't have the shards. So removing them to me seems very odd, and I don't understand why they did it. Unless the answer is we gave it to you for free, so why do you need shards? The change, you sort of mentioned this, with the Evo tokens, makes literally no sense to me. I just pulled up the numbers just to, since Slim left, I'll do the math myself. To get a character when you got it for free from 2-star silver to 4-star bronze, every month before this month, it costs you 1,900 Evo tokens. To do the same this month, it's going to cost you 7,750 Evo tokens for the exact same point. And yes, we are getting some from the showdown. You get 55 per win, but you only have a set amount of showdowns with that Piper showdown. I think you end up with like 12, 13 once the math, 12 with the math, or maybe 13. So great, I guess. There's just a lot with this new character that I don't like that they did. I don't get why they took rid of the shards. It helped a lot of the no spend lower end players. The wall, like you just said, with the contest where they were struggling to beat the live, I cannot think of a single time that I ever had a problem using the free character in the contest when I was trying to get my stairs. You had to work a little bit, but it was never like I need to consult the handbook and see how the hell I can finish this off. Whereas now people are barely at 2-star gold for what the progress has been because the Evo tokens are so high. And it just came off again to me like another, we're going to reward the spenders, which again I get to an extent, and anyone that doesn't spend, good luck. And this was kind of this mixed with the Armory, which I think we'll talk about in a little bit, just rubbed me as this is the free to play month, and then every turn we've seen is, if you spend, it's great, but if you are free to play, you'll have a fun time this month. I hope you've got some people to contact and reach out to, because you're not going anywhere for the next few weeks if you need to win these matches. So I don't know. That's what just rubbed me wrong, is I think the promotion of it's free to play, it's going to be a great month for everybody, and then the gap that they produced for anyone that's willing to spend even just a little compared to someone that's not going to spend at all. Just, yeah, as you can see, kind of has me worked up on it, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's frustrating. It is definitely a frustrating experience. It's definitely a change. It's definitely a change to the monthly. And again, the promotional part of it, where the way it's getting branded and all that type of stuff, it's not the best. When the feeling afterwards is like, this is false advertising. This isn't what you guys were promoting to me. That's where it doesn't feel real good. So
I could say I talked to a few of my old faction mates. I asked them specifically that I know didn't spend, and I said, would you rather have had the first week as we had it, kickoff, ignoring the kickoff door, as we had it with Raquel, or the old way? Every single one of them said, oh, I wish they never changed how they did the introduction of the new character. Yeah, we got it day one, cool. But the long run aspect of it is so much worse than getting it for day one. And I've yet to meet a single person that doesn't spend. I thought this was a great change that didn't make it worse for people that didn't spend.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough. Anybody else on our starter pack talks before we move on to some other parts of the MLC? Alrighty. So let's talk about a couple of other things that we can address here. I think will be a nice way of saying it. So the Judgment Day link got a new +4 MP tag to it. The new Judgment Day, and we got a new moment to chase on the month. The new Drew Money in the Bank 2024 moment. So a couple of different items there, but new stuff nevertheless. So wanted to get everybody's thoughts. Judgment Day. Are you going to be using any of these characters in tag modes moving forward? That you're like, wow, this new tag link, I'm definitely using these guys. Or are you probably going to stick to using those characters with the hot tag move instead? What seems to be like more of an appeal to you? And the moment, which kind of like Clay had just talked about, we'll be talking about the Armory here in a bit. We can talk about the moment. Are you planning on saving for the moment, or are you going to go and pick up some other things with those Armory loot coins? So curious to hear from everybody about these 2 points.
Yeah, can I start?
Go for it, Sensei. Would love to.
Okay, as much as I love Showdown, and I think Showdown, I know I'm crazy. People think I'm crazy when I say it, but I think Showdown is a better mode than Feud. The tag links don't even matter anymore. They give us boosts for all certain characters. Dude, I didn't even know the tag link was a thing until I read your notes before this podcast started. So I mean, I just don't think tag links are a thing anymore.
They do feel like kind of a waste, right?
Yeah, now with that said, with the +4 MP, I mean, I may find out, like, when I'm trying to figure out who I can use to grind or something, it may be, oh, let me throw the Judgment Day on, so I can get 4 MP, it'll make this easier, but it's not something that I'm actively going to level up any characters for.
All right, yeah, fair enough. It's not like you're going out of your way to take up JD McDonough or anything like that to use him for the tag link.
Yeah, and let me say, this isn't, I'm not looking for any explanation about this. I'm still not 100% sure how this hot tag link thing works. I just know that when you start, like, sometimes the tag counter's at 0. That's all I know about it. I don't know how it works. I'll have to go back and find the information on it, I guess.
Yeah, so if a character, currently, I should say, if a character has a hot tag move, they also have a link for tags. So a character will have a link that indicates whether they start with a -2 or a -3 on the tag counter. So for example, like Michelle McCool is coming out this month. If you use Michelle McCool as the tag partner, instead of you needing to wait 3 turns to tag her in, you only need to wait 1. Same thing with Viscera. Same thing with Eddie Guerrero. All the hot tag characters, you will have to only wait 1 turn instead of 3 turns. The only character, and this is what Envy was alluding to a little earlier, which is the last time is now John Cena, the new trickster. The only character that has a -3 on the tag counter is him. And so once you start the match, if he's the tag partner, you can tag him in immediately on turn 1, even before you use a move on your starter. And then all of those people have a hot tag move. So once they get tagged in, they will do blah, blah, blah. That's on the info page where you level up characters, evolve characters, and it shows you all their gem damage and stuff. You have to scroll way to the bottom of that page to see what the hot tag move does, but all of them do something different. So some of them will say deal 30 million damage and increase purple gem damage. Some of them will say deal 30 million damage and increase green gem damage. Viscera is a new one, which deals 50 million damage and increases red MP. So you don't even need to worry about starting with MP on Viscera. You could just tag him in, and he's fully loaded with his red moves. So that's how those hot tag links and characters all work.
Is that why, like, the one time during Eddie's month when I tagged him in, like, the whole board filled up with each gems? Is that what that was?
That's exactly what that is, yes. That's exactly what happened.
Well, now I got some research to do. Thank you.
No worries. All right. Tag links and the moment and the armory. Who else wants to take it away?
So the tag links for me, well, Judgment Day starting. The extra 4 MP only really matters if and when they bring back MP down. So MP down that's usually a defense against MP down to make sure that your guys are loaded even when you think they might not be. But if they are not going to have the negative MTP perks anymore, then the tag link really does nothing.
Okay.
And I'd rather have my hot tag people on the outside in that case. But if you get the extra MP and then you use, I think Dom is the one with the quick tag move, then I guess it could be kind of interesting with JD McDonough. But everybody else is not really. I'm not really trying to get Finn Balor in the ring so I can stun somebody and be sitting there for an hour, and I'm not really trying to get Damian Priest and on whoever they are. You know the Judgment Day. None of those people do you really want in the ring. So it's there, but MP down would be the only reason I'd use that tag link or anything.
All right. Any thoughts on the moment or the armory?
Well, like you've pointed out several times, you want the moments just so you can use people to the best of their ability. So it's not like I have to have the moment right away, but when I get it, it'll be nice to have. And I'm going to go for it. So I'm holding my armory tokens. I'm not doing anything. It's just sitting on the sideline waiting till the end of the month, and we're cashing in at the end of the month if I get far enough.
All right, so the goal is the moment.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I think that's one of those roster dependent things. Like, will the moment help, or will Tier 6 medals help more from the titles loot, or will some of those gears help from the gear loot? I just think that's a roster dependent thing, and what your goals as a player are as well.
Well, what's your goal then, Sensei? I'd love to hear it.
Well, I already did a gear pull. By the way, picked up some nice gears. Got the one Austin gear I was missing, not the nurse one. Like his normal gear, which I should have probably got 6 years ago and never got it. I finally got that. There's some other gears, but I'll probably then go transition to title pulls just so I can get more Tier 6 medals, because, oh boy, was this feud a real wake-up call for Tier 6 medals. Whew.
Yeah, if you don't have them, you better get them. All right, so fair enough. So we got one that's definitely saving for the moment, one that definitely doesn't give a damn about the moment, who is going to juice up those Tier 6 medals. That's fair, too. All right, let's get some other input on this for both the Judgment Day tag link and the moment. I know, two very different things, but two very new things. So who wants to take it away?
So I guess I'll jump in here.
Do it.
And I think the way the armory is set up now is you pick something that you know that's on the prize wall and that you're going to go for, and if you get it, you're happy. If not, then whatever coins and things that you put together, you then kind of roll the dice afterwards. So I think that's I hope that's commonplace. I don't know for sure, but I think that's where a lot of people are going because you want to try for one of the plates or one of the big plates, one of the big gears. Like it's 199,000, and the last month they had the three uh, the three straps that you can put on anybody without worrying about a class. So it was like, okay, I'm going to go this, and then whatever I have left, whatever I have residual, boom, I will spend in the little pulls because they're RNG based. So I think that's kind of the mindset most people should have. Hopefully, I don't know. Besides that, the moment's interesting. It's on the list. So if I get it, I get it. But it's one of those ones that I'll end up saving up for because I use all my residual coins on moments only. So I think hopefully that helps some people if they're trying to figure out what to do. But I'm always going to go for the big prize first, and if I don't get it, then I'll fall back into something different.
All right. Shell, thoughts on Armory and the JD link?
I like it. It's okay. JD Link, I don't really use those characters too much to begin with. The Armory, though, I am a spend it as I get it kind of girl. The impulsivity part of me. But I'm also a moment collector, and I want that moment. Mm-hmm. So it's been very hard for me to not spend those coins. And I feel like it's going to get harder as I get more coins and get closer to my goal.
I wish you the luck then.
Appreciate it.
B-Rock, thoughts on the JD link? I don't think you left any thoughts on that.
I actually use JD McDonough. I have fun with him. I don't know why, but he's just one of the guys that I use that I actually have fun with. But I can't remember the last time I used him in Showdown, so I kind of am siding with Envy here. That if there's no MP down, I don't think I'm going to use him. So I don't necessarily know if it actually helps or not. It may, but I guess I just don't use it in that fashion to be able to say, yeah, that's going to be a big help or a big hindrance.
Yeah. And certainly last but not least, Clay, talk to me. Thoughts on on the tag link, and then we could talk about the armories.
So with the link, it's not something I'm going to use, but I think it'll benefit people, which this is a swing and a positive side for Scopely. I think people that don't have the greatest of rosters can use this during showdowns, because be it they're lacking trainers or lacking whatever, it very well could help them in some showdowns. I think I'm all for helping other people that may not have these characters. Like Bjork was saying, like, he doesn't use JD, so he doesn't see it going there. I would assume there's people that he may be one of their best on the roster or consistent, so it helps him a lot. So I'm all for that. Doesn't benefit me, but in the end I think it'll benefit some, so I'm cool with it. That's happy that was the decision they made. Armory, I like the moment. I don't know if that's where my focus is going to go, because it doesn't really help anyone that I have in my roster dramatically. I need the other Tiffy moment first, but obviously once I get her main moment and this, and then throw some armor and a defense strap on her, she's going to be a pain to face in feuds, so good luck. But for now, it's not a rush out and get. I'm probably going to spend them just on the randomness, the loopholes. But one thing that we will see, it's too early to really have an opinion yet, because we don't know how they're going to do this month, but the reduction of points you get for spending and collecting armory tokens from 8 per token to 6 seems odd to me. It gives off the vibes of too many people got this moment, and we don't want as many people to get to that tier, which would now be the gear for Piper, because I don't see why they would make that change. Maybe they're going to give us a dramatic amount of tokens that we weren't getting before, which would be fantastic because then you get more pulls because none of that changed. So that's why I said it's kind of a we have to wait and see aspect. But if it's around the average it's been, that is going to be a huge hit to people, because a 25% reduction in your score, I think, is going to drop a lot of milestones down for people. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yep.
And also, I'll be curious to see, I don't have the math, and I don't know if anyone does, how many tokens we were getting for those tours that reset every week that no longer will be resetting. The flashback tours that we've just got now, it's out and it's staying for the rest of the month. I know we've got a lot of tokens through that, but I don't know if it equates to how much we were getting total for the 4 weeks, 5 weeks that it was running. I don't know. Again, we'll see at the end of the month. I think that's going to be a real telltale sign of where we are once the month ends, because we're all around where we were previous months. Okay, cool. Now we've just gotten more tokens because the score went down lower, so that means we've had to have got more tokens. But if everybody's lower because they reduced that score, it would become another question of, this is the free-to-play month, why? So, hard to really make a judgment, but I would say I'm going to do the pulls. I like the moment for Tiffy, and probably that's the only one that I'm going to use it for whenever I get it. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Anybody else on their final comments on the Armory or the link in particular? Otherwise, we can...
Oh,
go on.
I wanted to say something else about the link. I think another problem with the link is that this new thing they have in Showdown, where if your two partners aren't of equal strength, but it's close to 20% or whatever it is,
yep,
you get penalized. I think that also hurts, because now you can't just, like, for instance, I have my JD one is either 6 silver or 6 gold. I think he's 6 gold, but if he's 6 gold, I have to put someone next to him that's close in talent to the Judgment Day, which I don't do. Or else I get a giant penalty, which then kind of hurts the whole link thing anyway. It's just something else that, I think works against the tag link. And then I was going to ask about the that recap tour, flashback tour. Is that just those are the only tours we're getting for the whole month? Do we know this yet? Or are they going to add more each month, or each week, I mean?
The recap tour is not resetting. That is going to be a one tour for the month thing. That's all there is to it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was saying we need to see. I wish I had the numbers. I don't have them. Maybe Slim does, or somebody else, to see like what we got per difficulty. If it's the same amount thrown into 1 week, that's fine. It just makes it, a lot of people would prefer that, me as well, of I only have to do this tour once and I'm going to get the exact same amount of payouts. But if it's a reduced amount because it's only one tour, I'd rather do each week personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure it out the hard way. But outside of the link and outside of the new moment, we do, however, have one final MLC point to talk about before just some generic things in this weekend. This is a pretty long part 2, but anyway. The big selling point of the month. You can apparently get King Kong Bundy and Michelle McCool for free. So, we'll let that one sink in for just a moment here. That's the big salesman point on the month. That you can get your 3K Shard Recruit and your 2K Shard Recruit for absolutely free. So there's a breakdown in the game in terms of where you can get these shards. I know no one likes to hit the button, but it exists. There's a little news bulletin button in the top right. And if you hit that little news bulletin button, and you go ahead and you chase it all the way down to the MLC, where it shows you the muscles in the bank, MLC or whatever it is, you will go ahead and see the breakdown of where you can get all the shards. So, yeah, they say that they're free. However, even in the breakdown, the one that kind of surprises me, Bundy is, according to their breakdown, more premium than Michelle McCool is, which makes no sense. But yeah, the Piper Showdown that you do every week, there's 230 shards there. The Piper Tour that you do every week, there's 20 shards there, so that is 250. The midweek/week-long contest, getting up to the gold chest in those, is another 400 shards apiece, and if you can max the talent up, should be another 200 shards on every other weekend. So week 1 should be 850, week 2 should be 650, and then so on for week 3 and week 4 of 850 and 650. And that should total up to your 3,000 shards for Michelle McCool. Bundy, on the other hand, I think you can get 1,700 shards for free, and then the other 300 are in the premium somewhere. So I'm not 100% sure where we're getting those, or if those premium characters, like I think it was like Wade Barrett, Trickster, or something like that, or Big Boss Man from last month. I don't know if like they're considering those characters premium, where you can get shards from them there. But yeah, it looks like the marketing point this month is getting your characters for free. So tentatively, heading out of week 1, curious what everybody's thoughts are, whether it's cautiously optimistic, whether it's, man, I can't wait to get them for free. Want to know what everybody's outlook is on this supposed, hey, you can get all your monthly characters by playing the game.
I think if it's actually like that, I think it's great. We'll see. I just looked over the blog, and it does say for free. Really small in parentheses, it says none of the content will ever be free besides our characters, but the characters themselves are free, so that's nice for them. If that is actually how it breaks down, because as many have talked about earlier, adding Michelle to almost everyone's roster is going to be huge for feuds going forward, just taking away every other aspect of her being used in any other formats. So I think everyone's a bit optimistic, or cautiously optimistic. B-Rock probably thinks there's not a shot it ever happens, but for the majority, I think if it's true, then fantastic, and it'd be a nice change.
I agree with Clay. If this is truly how they're intending it to be, and that's actually how it goes, I think it is a great change. Cautiously optimistic is a great way to describe that. But it's something brand new, so it's going to be a wait and see type deal. So I guess we'll reserve judgment until the next podcast.
All right.
In some ways, it's disappointing when you don't get the character that's named at the beginning of the month by the end of the month, because when you do everything and you've done what you think you need to be done to get the character, and you're getting all the faction rewards, you're getting all the things, and still come up short. Not by a lot, but even by a little, it's a little disappointing. So the fact that they're semi-guaranteeing that it can be done just by doing normal stuff gives hope.
So it looks like we're all very cautiously optimistic. All right. So we got Envy, Shell, and Clay down. Sensei, thoughts on our free month?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as everyone else. It's nice as long as they follow through what they're going to say. It'd be great, but there is that small possibility that some numbers get screwed up, or we misunderstood something in the blog. I'm just going to be positive and say, boy.
Or you need Nia Jax to get 300 shards over, something like that.
All right, and I had to leave the podium for the man who tells me before this podcast goes live. It's a good thing we talked about this before going live. So take it away, B-Rock. I'm dying to hear your take on this one.
So I'm just going to say B-Rock isn't the smartest guy, because I already cannot get Michelle McCool for free. Supposedly I missed an event because we should be, what was the number, at 900
$850.
$850. So if you're not at $850 right now at this point in the first week, you're not getting her for free. So that's my take. I did something that I have no idea what I did, what I missed. I have to go and look now and have no idea what I missed. But I'm like 300 shards off pace.
You max
That's
the showdown?
I don't know if B-Rock Max is showdown.
That was the thing. I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. I was kind of just running.
Sounds like that big of a number. That sounds like the Piper showdown didn't get maxed.
So if that's it, then that's on me.
Gotta
I
keep track of them shards
about
moving forward, baby.
Can't say anything bad about it.
Provided it's the truth. I get you.
Exactly.
All right. So, MLC talks are over. Anything else anyone wants to get in on the MLC talks before we move on? Because we got a couple more points to talk about. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and dive right on into it. In case y'all didn't know, there's a couple of things about the game that are not happening in the game that have happened. So, the Superstar Guide has a brand new overhaul. So now you can set a new base of your character's talent and things along those lines. You can, I guess you can like scroll over the character and it turns at a funky angle. And it looks like it's all holographic and shiny and whatnot. And there's a new way to search on the guide that you can search by class, by style, and by tier now. So now, for everyone that's always been complaining about, oh, well, I can't find who the focused characters are or who the defensive characters are, now you can sort by style. The thing that's really funny to me is you cannot sort by era. And this is something that I brought up to them. So if you have class and era straps, why don't we have class and era filters? And it's a whoops. It'll be implemented in the next update. So hopefully that gets fixed soon. But aside from all that, it's a Superstar Guide update. So curious if anybody enjoys this update, cares about this update, is happy they can look up styles. Just want to know what everyone's surface level thoughts are on the Superstar Guide update.
They need to update the lookup for the trainers and coaches in the game. Superstar Guide, nothing for me. If I can't find them in the game, it's a problem. When I'm trying to add trainers and coaches.
Oh, you're talking about adding an entourage filter.
Yeah, because, I mean, you gotta, even if you can filter, even the way we can filter it now, it narrows it down, but if I'm doing gym damage, there's like 50 people with that. If I'm doing MP, there's like 50 people with that. And if they're equipped, they're at the bottom. If they're not equipped, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's a good start. It went from us trying to find information using a rock and a chisel to now it's like writing a paper with an Etch-a-Sketch. But the WWE, somebody already has a database that does this, and it's 20 times better and more efficient than Champions website. I'm blanking on the website. Hopefully somebody in here can speak on it. It's like Relcom or something like that. It's WWE's like Relmir.
The Relmira site.
That one to me, if they can get to a level where it's that fluid, perfect. But as of now, it's literally like trying to write a paper, like I said, with an Etch-a-Sketch. Like, I can do it. It gets me to where I need to go, but it has a lot of bumps in the road. It needs fixing, but it did just come out, so give it the time it needs to be improved. And if they get it there, I think it's a fantastic feature. I won't use it, except for stip tours. But nonetheless, I know many that will. And it's just another thing that helps the player base, so I'm all for it.
It's a pretty big shame when we're comparing a fan-made site and we're like, yeah, it's much better, right? Like, ouch.
It's true though. Like I tried to look up some stuff the other day on it, and it can't even find words.
No,
Like,
no
I
argument.
typed in like blast gem percentage, and it's like I don't know what that is. But do you want a cookie? I'm like, nope, we're not doing this here. Thanks for the ad.
No argument from me, not whatsoever. Sensei, thoughts on the portal update or the Superstar Guide update?
I mainly use my phone, so I'm not going to be able to get the full effect of it, and I didn't notice anything that different that really enhanced the experience. So I'm not the person to talk to about that.
Okay, fair enough. Shell, how's about you with the Superstar Guide update? Any thoughts or input on it?
It looks weird.
Okay, want to elaborate a little bit?
I don't know. Like I was confused at first when I was on the portal, and I was looking for something, and I hit the wrong tab, and I was like, "Wait, why does this look so weird?" And then I was like, "Oh, okay. I didn't even know it had happened. That's how much attention I paid." But yeah, no. I have to say I'm kind of lazy, and if I have a question, I go to you, or I go to another faction mate, and I feel like your responses are usually quicker than my searching time anyway.
If anyone needs Bob, if you DM him, he only charges $35.95 per 10 minutes.
None of this is true.
He can definitely help you out. It's the Mrs. Cleo of the WWE Champions, so you could just call him now, and he'll help you out whenever you need it.
Literally none of this is true. I will help, but I will not be charging anybody.
Just call me now.
I don't know. He's been on a health kick lately. It used to be like I'd have to send him sweets and treats in exchange.
God.
Now it's protein powder and workout equipment.
Yeah.
Now it's water, because that's what you drink when you're on this type of stuff is water. B-Rock, talk to me.
He's charging you guys food. That's crazy.
B-Rock, I'm asking for you to talk about the Superstar Guide, not the non-existent BS.
Well, Bob, I heard you were charging feet pics.
No.
So I wasn't quite sure.
That's how I got in here.
Whoever is telling you all this has some crazy fetishes, and that has nothing to do with the Superstar Guide.
I'm just saying. Clay told me you're charging feet pics, so if you're charging food, I'll hook you up with some food. Nice salad.
Clay might be typing in feet pics in the Superstar Guide and not finding them, and maybe that's why
it's not working. Maybe that's why I'm having the troubles I'm having.
Listen, B-Rock, I will make you cookies or cupcakes any day. You just let me know.
What flavor?
Hey, Dave, I'm gonna have to take pictures of your feet later. I hope you don't mind. Okay.
Y'all are crazy.
You're the one who started this.
I didn't. He said you were charging feet pics, and then I'm getting food.
I know what you're talking about, B-Rock.
Still waiting for your output on the Superstar Guide.
Okay.
And we're back from that short break. Sorry about that YouTube video. Continue.
Oh, I'm leaving that
in. If you are a newer player, I believe that it's going to be really beneficial. You're going to have the information right there and be able to use it. If you are a long time, just say this is your 8th year, you're really not going to, because we've been around long enough that we know that there's links to other things that's going to get it to you faster, and you have it bookmarked in your phone where you can just click a button and then type in the word blast, and then boom, you get everything that you need right there in seconds. So I do get the idea of them trying to make it better. I think it's going to be better for newer people because they may not have as many resources as some of us old timers, and because we have different resources that are, we're not going to say more reliable, we're just going to say differently equipped to get us the answers that we need. That's what I think we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually tried it out recently because I was looking at Bundy, and I was trying to kind of see like how many Juggernaut gems he made and all this type of stuff. I don't like the new interface personally. And the reason I don't like the new interface is the old one, when you would level somebody up, right? Like when you would say, hey, I want to see what they do at 6-star gold, it would default them with maxed out moves at 6-star gold. It's not like I have to tell the system, hey, put this 6-star gold character at the max level and the max moves. It was just like, oh, hey, we're maxing everything out all the time. If his max level is 40, it's 40. If his max level is 390, it's 390 the second that you move him there. And it shows you those numbers. I don't like having to input all of that data now. It is very frustrating. So I don't want to have to go and, click the star from 1-star bronze to 6-star gold, and then have to go and, 6 full stars, and then turn it from bronze to gold, and then change his level from 1 all the way to 390, and then individually level up every single one of his moves to level 19 to see what it does at 6-star gold. It's a lot of excess effort. And then on top of that, it's like you have to click this set as baseline button so that it doesn't change when you go to adjust something else. It's like a lot of extra steps and effort to just get to the same spot that you were at one point in time. Cool for them that they added the tier. Cool for them that they added the style. Like, that's fine. Cool. Whatever. But I don't know, man. It's just like, it's extra steps, and I don't like that. Yeah, sure, it looks cool, looks fresh, probably has the new car smell type of thing, whatever, fine. But I just don't like the fact that I have to put in extra work. And then on top of that, kind of like what Clay and B-Rock are both alluding to, and without like making this feel like it was a waste of time or that it's a bad update or anything like that, there's literally a fan-made website that's like, hey, by the way, here's what all the trainers and coaches do, and if you click into any of the characters, this is what they do also. And it's just like, it's there. That's it. It's simple. Like, it's super simple. This is very advanced, and it has gotten to a point like where sometimes when you add too much technology to things that it gets worse instead of getting better. That's what it feels like. So I'm just not a fan.
I do want to commend them. One thing that is great, and if they can get it on par or better than the other website, it's showing your active roster and not showing you when you're looking for something. It'll show you who you have. So again, when I'm saying for like stip tours and stuff, it allows you to search through who you have instead of scrolling by 40 characters that you don't have and will never have. I think that is a huge plus. Again, this is the starting point. If they can get to that level, I think it'll be better. But where they are currently, they've got a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. So, decent starting point. Not thrilled that I can't search by era anymore. So hopefully they fix it. But yeah. That is our Superstar Guide update. Anybody else on some comments of that before we move on to the other update that we got? No? Alrighty. So this is another update, which is super fun. And I was blessed and honored to be allowed to talk about this on the blog read that I had on Thursday night to introduce every one of you to the new era of WWE Champions. Because boy, oh boy, did they get the hype built up with that one. And I was even telling them, like, hey, if this is what it is, you're going to have to give me something to work with, a little bit of context as to why I can explain that this is the new era instead of the era that everybody's thinking that it's going to be. Because you got a lot of hype, and this ain't going to be a whole lot of substance. So the new era is officially live, and the official Discord for WWE Champions has gone live. If you're still listening to this on YouTube, huge shout out and thank you. Feel free to check the description for a link to the Discord. There's an official Discord now. On there you can talk with developers, you can talk with other members of the game and try to build a faction, and you can leave some feedback on some contests, you can report if things are broken, you can get your news faster than having to wait for someone in town hall to pass along the news to you. This is essentially your public version of town hall. Server's live. Thoughts on the fact that we have a public Discord server now?
I like that I was able to. Oh, I'm gonna go with Bjork.
All right, look, I'm gonna make this as short and simple as possible. Why? It does absolutely nothing.
I thought that was just going to be it, just why.
Absolutely nothing. Sing it again.
It majority of the players have a faction. I get that, or you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm 1,000% wrong with. I think faction leaders pass along the information as they're supposed to, and that's kind of their job. So, I mean, I guess this is a good thing for people who don't have a faction, maybe? But to make a big deal of this, stop. Bring back Professor.
I would say...
We have content creators for a reason.
Well, it looks like I'm starting to learn from Discord. There's this one person that I keep seeing popping up in memes and GIFs that looks interesting, so I'm going to try to see who that is, because it looks like a friendly and nice fellow. Everyone seems to love him, because that's all I see all over the Discord. So, I'm excited to learn about this person, maybe learn about their life, what they do, what they've done. I gotta ask a few people, though. I always see his picture, and it disappears. I don't know. People are afraid to share, don't want everyone to learn about him, so that's good, though. I haven't used it.
God. Yeah, that is gonna be a thing. Sensei, any thoughts on our official Discord?
I'm with Beaver. Why? I know it's not you, and so when I say you, I don't mean YouTube. They made it out to be this, we were going to get this giant announcement, and then it was that, and it was, what the hell? What? It was I don't know if anybody remembers when they came out with the Universal title in the W. It's probably been 7-8 years, and they made it like it's going to be this giant thing, and then they called it the Universal title, and everybody was like, "Great!" That's how I felt. Wonderful.
Can we be honest? This is about as hectic as the 24/7 title. If you've even been in there for 5 minutes, so I don't know what the end goal is. I don't know if it's just to mute everybody and then it be a town hall that no one can talk in, because you can't be in there for more than 5 minutes before you're like, this isn't gonna last.
It's an experience. Speaking on the experience, Shell, your thoughts, your experience with the new official public Discord.
I mean, I joined it when you shared the link in the stream, and I haven't been back since.
Is there a reason for you having not been back?
I mean, it just seemed like complete freaking chaos. Which normally I am a queen.
Yeah, you're the queen of chaos, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I don't know, just a bunch of dudes just talking shit. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. This is not something I want to see from an official, quote unquote, official server for this game. I don't know. It just seemed real. I don't know.
That's a fair point. It comes off very biggest streamer has a Discord, and this is their Discord. Not that it is an official one run by the company game. That's the vibe it gives off.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And of course, I had to save the best for last on this one. Envy, give me your thoughts on the official Discord.
Well, so like when it was announced, I knew what it was. I knew what would be like, and I said, "Man, I'm not going to join." But if they would have did this online, I would have been there. I would have. If they had a line app, oh boy, I would have been on that thing. But not on Discord. No, not today. I mean, I got too many Discords as is, so I'm not gonna add another one just to have a bunch of people talking that faction talk and all this other type of stuff. I mean, I guess I could post videos in there if I wanted to, but I mean, you know, we organic out here, so I'm happy with the people I know knowing me and keeping it exclusive. Mm-hmm. I don't need to be with all the people. So, but if they had a lineup, I feel like it'd be more personal. It'd be like me and 3 other people in there. We could just talk. But, not this Discord. That's not for me. Just not for me. It's way too many people and way too many people trying to get their stuff off. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's an experience.
So Bob, I don't mean to interrupt. But I told you I was on 30, right? So this is the reason why I'm partly on 30. Because I was trying to keep my mouth shut, but I can't. Because Envy turned around and brought up lie. So now I have to get in here and say, the reason why this is just why is because I done got about 40 invites to join the 40 different Venomous Vipers factions. I done got invites, and I'm like, how do y'all know who I am? I try not to be way out there, but now I'm out there, and I'm sitting there like, hey, join Venomous Vipers factions 1 through 11. We're top 100. And I'm like, who are you people? How do you have 11 factions? Stop. This is now giving people free reign to go in there and do dumb stuff. Dumb stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
is that why I'm getting a whole bunch of faction invites all of a sudden, like advertisements?
Yes. And then you get the hey buddy, and I already hear the accent, so I know who you are, Nick Mohan. No, we don't want you. Leave. Earn your game. Don't care. Like, I'm looking at the stuff that's coming off of this thing, and now it's, now I'm on 30 again. I was trying not to be there, but now I'm there.
Oh my god.
Y'all opened the floodgates for the creepers and the weirdos. That's literally what you did. You gave the weirdos and creepers more access. I guarantee that Shells probably then got some inappropriate DM from some whack job. Like, oh, you look like a girl's name. Hey, honey. No, this is what you did. You basically gave the creeps and the weirdos fair game to players. That's what you did. Not you, Bob, but I'm just putting it out there.
No,
okay?
obviously.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. I haven't even gotten a DM asking me to join a different faction. Like, I'm just like, nobody wants me. Like, what the hell?
I didn't got too many to count. And then I got 2 from people who I didn't even share a mutual server with. So I'm like, yeah, no. And lastly, Bob, you my guy. You know what? I appreciate the fact that you have invited me to this podcast, and I think that, over our time together, I've given up some good information, and I've kept it real. I am going to say this one last thing, and this is for Scopely or whoever's idea it was to do this. You got factions that don't use Discord. You got a lot of factions out there that don't use Discord. So just keep that in mind when you go ahead and make the announcements that you do, because there's some factions out there that still use Facebook Messenger. There's factions out there that use Slack or something like that. From all these other stuff. You know what? He said MySpace. That's funny. Anyway, so just put stuff together, and if you decide that you want to do it, but don't, besides Discord, hey, throw one out there in line for Envy. Throw one out there for, was it Paradise Lost that still uses Facebook Messenger? Throw one out there for whatever the other one is that uses Line. Fine, throw them all out there and just do that.
All right.
I want to say the views of B-Rock do not slandering the Venomous Vipers. If any of the 3,800 people from Venomous Vipers are watching, we apologize. We don't mean to slander your 39 factions.
The views of everybody today does not represent how the Lounge Roundtable feels as a whole, and I apologize. I would carry on to our final point of the podcast, but you know what? I think with how on edge everybody is, I think we'll save that for the next podcast, and we'll talk about this weekend next podcast. That's a good time, I think, for everybody to get some good old rest in, since feud's almost over, and man, everybody's on high right now. But hey, thanks everybody for showing up. Huge shout out, Clay. Appreciate you for making your maybe official debut. Who knows? I don't remember at this point.
We won't act like this isn't the second time I've been from the start of an episode. That's fine.
There you go.
And also to anyone watching as this comes live, thank you for the support. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will talk to y'all soon.
Just fuck off. Shout out Sensei for making some time. Appreciate you. Hopefully you hit your 450. I never got to ask.
Yeah, I did, and then I wanted to put some extra work in to get in the top 800 so I can get some more solo points, and I realized I probably could have got the 500 if it wasn't such a lazy piece of crap. But what are you going to do?
Well, I apologize that you couldn't hit the 5, but it's probably not worth it either, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I kind of I just didn't feel like playing the impact. It's probably
yeah. Thank you for joining us today as well. Shell, as always, thank you. Appreciate it. Always very insightful with your commentary. And then there are times that you say, no, ugly, didn't like it. And I appreciate the straight and to the point answers too. Envy, huge shout out as always. Thank you for keeping the levity and the lightheartedness in every single podcast, both before the recording goes live and during and after. Huge shout out to Slim Numbers for showing up for his first podcast. Hopefully we can get him on in the near future as well. And B-Rock, to kind of bring you down off of your 30, maybe to 29, to above 29 levels, right? Appreciate you being here too. Thank you very, very much. Just chill, vibe out. It's okay. You ain't gotta worry about it. Podcast is over. We can blow up, in 2 weeks when the podcast comes back for volume 20. Right? The big 2-0 will be the big B-Rock blow up. All right? Sounds good. But not for real. Thank you for being on and keeping it real too. Thank you all very, very much. But that's going to be it for this one. This part 2 went way too long. Essentially, I could have made a part 2 and 3 of this one. But we didn't, and we'll carry on our point that we didn't talk about, which is this weekend's feud. We'll carry that on into next weekend's... sorry, not next, but you know what I mean. Next podcast talks then. So anyway... That's going to be it for this podcast. Thank you all for listening on in for both part 1 and part 2. And until next time, y'all, have a good one.
Happy holidays. Enjoy it.